Miss Hiller? The water's boiling. Hello! Ah!
Robin Williams was known to the world as one of the funniest and most talented actors in Hollywood. His energy, humor, and quick mind made him unforgettable on screen. People laughed with him, admired him, and many grew up watching his movies. But behind all that humor and fun, there was a deeper, more serious side to him. This side wasn't shown in interviews or award shows. It came out in quiet moments on set when the cameras weren't rolling. One of the few people who got to truly see this side of Robin Williams was actress Sally Field. She worked with him on the movie Mrs. Doubtfire, and what she shared later in life revealed something beautiful about who he really was. Sally Field met Robin Williams in 1993. During the filming of Mrs. Doubtfire, this movie became a huge success and is still remembered as a heartwarming and funny film about a father who disguises himself as a nanny to be close to his children after a divorce. Robin played the father, Daniel Hillard, and Sally played his ex-wife, Miranda. They were the two lead characters, and from the moment they started working together, a strong connection formed. It wasn't just a professional relationship. It became something more, a deep understanding between two people who respected each other both as actors and as human beings. Robin was known for being spontaneous and wild during filming. He often followed the script for a few takes, just like every actor does, but after that he would start improvising. He'd create new lines, use different voices, make strange faces, or act out surprising gestures that no one expected. This made every take different from the last. For many actors, this could be difficult to work with because they wouldn't know what was coming next. But for Sally Field, it was the opposite. She didn't try to match his energy or outshine him. She simply responded honestly in the moment. If he surprised her with a funny line, her reaction would be real. That made their scenes feel more natural and emotional. Their acting styles balanced each other perfectly. Robin brought excitement and surprise, while Sally brought calmness and emotion. Director Chris Columbus noticed this and decided to use multiple cameras during their scenes so that he could capture all the different expressions and moments, even the unplanned ones. He understood that something magical was happening between these two actors. Sally respected Robin for his ability to bring fresh life to every scene, and Robin appreciated Sally for staying present and grounded, no matter what he did, but their relationship went beyond acting. Off-camera, Robin was gentle, kind, and very thoughtful. He would often make people laugh when they were stressed, and he noticed small things about others. If someone on set was having a bad day, Robin was often the first to see it and offer comfort. Sally saw this too. She saw that behind his loud and funny personality, Robin was a person who deeply cared about others. He wasn't performing just to be the center of attention. He wanted the story to matter. He wanted people to feel something real. Sally and Robin didn't become loud, public friends. Their connection was quiet and respectful. They didn't need to talk about it, they just felt it. They shared smiles on set, helped each other with difficult scenes, and supported each other without words. Their connection was about trust. It was about knowing that the other person had your back, both in front of the camera and behind it. This made their performances together so powerful. People watching the movie could feel the emotion, even in funny scenes, because it was built on something real. What made this connection even more special was what happened one day on set, something that Sally never forgot. It showed just how deeply Robin cared about people, especially the ones he worked with. It wasn't part of the movie, and it wasn't something most people ever saw. But it was one of the most real and human moments of Sally's entire career. One day, while filming Mrs. Doubtfire, Sally Field received heartbreaking news. Her father had passed away. He had been in a nursing home after suffering a stroke years earlier, and his condition had been getting worse. But even though she knew his health was fragile, the news still hit her hard. It was a moment of deep personal pain, and she was in the middle of work, trying to stay professional. That day, they were filming a very emotional courtroom scene. The part in the movie where the characters are going through their final steps of divorce. It was already a heavy day for acting, But now it had become even more difficult for Sally. Instead of breaking down, Sally tried to hold herself together. She didn't want to stop filming or cause a scene. She sat quietly in her trailer near the courtroom set and prepared for the next shot. She told herself that she had to push through it to stay strong and finish the work. She had always been known for her professionalism and strong work ethic. But even strong people need support sometimes. And on that day, someone noticed her, paying without her saying a word. That person was Robin Williams. Robin had an amazing gift, not just for comedy, but for noticing people's emotions. He could tell when something was wrong. As soon as he saw Sally that day, he felt something was off. Her face, her posture, her silence, it told him everything. He didn't wait for her to speak. He walked over quietly and sat beside her. Then, in a gentle voice, he asked, "Are you okay?" Sally told him the truth. "My father just died." Robin didn't laugh or try to joke. He didn't say anything silly to lighten the mood. He simply said, "Oh my God, we need to get you out of here right now." Even though he was the lead actor in the film and one of the producers, Robin didn't care about the schedule or the work in that moment. He only cared about Sally. He immediately went to director Chris Columbus and asked if they could rearrange the shoot. "Can we film the scenes without Sally today?" he asked. "She needs time." Because of Robin's influence and the respect everyone had for him, the director agreed. They changed the schedule on the spot. The crew shot other scenes that didn't involve Sally, and she was able to leave to be with her family, grieve, and make arrangements. Robin stayed with her until she was ready to go. He didn't leave her alone. He didn't let her suffer quietly. Sally later said that this moment showed a side of Robin Williams that very few people ever got to see. "He was very sensitive and intuitive," she said. "He noticed things others missed. He cared deeply. He wasn't just about telling jokes or making people laugh. He was about love, about kindness, about making sure people were okay." For Sally, this wasn't just a nice gesture. It meant the world to her. She was far from home, dealing with the loss of a parent, and still trying to be an actress on set. But Robin gave her the space to be a daughter in mourning. He reminded her that being human matters more than being a star. That kind of support stays with a person forever. Sally never told this story publicly until years later, long after Robin had passed away. She wasn't trying to get attention. She just wanted people to know the truth about the man behind the camera. She wanted to share the story of a friend who stepped up when it mattered most. Someone who didn't need applause for being kind. This was the real Robin Williams. Not just the one we laughed with on screen, but the one who listened, cared, and acted with heart. He wasn't loud about his kindness. He didn't make speeches or announcements. He just did the right thing. That's why Sally remembered him not just as a great actor, but as a great human being. The story Sally Field told about Robin Williams gave the world a new way to see him. People always knew he was talented. They saw it in every movie, every performance, every joke. But stories like this showed that he was more than a performer. He was someone who led with kindness. Someone who knew how to use his fame, not for power, but for good. Sally's experience with him during the filming of Mrs. Doubtfire proved that he wasn't acting when he showed care. He was just being himself. Over the years, more people who worked with Robin shared similar stories. They all talked about how he had a way of making people feel seen, important, and respected. He didn't treat others based on their status or role. Whether you were a director, a makeup artist, or someone serving food on set, Robin treated you with warmth. He often took time out of his day to talk to people, tell them a joke, or simply ask how they were doing. He understood that making a movie was a team effort and everyone mattered. That's what made his bond with Sally Field so meaningful. They didn't try to impress each other. They didn't compete for attention. They just worked together with honesty and heart. They supported each other in their roles and in life. And that's why their scenes in Mrs. Doubtfire felt so real. The emotions weren't just part of the script. They came from the trust and understanding they built as two caring people. Even after Mrs. Doubtfire, Sally remembered Robin with deep respect and affection. She once said that he made her laugh more than anyone else she'd worked with. But more importantly, he made her feel safe. In an industry that can sometimes be harsh and demanding, Robin offered something rare: kindness without condition. Years later, when Robin Williams passed away, the world mourned the loss of a comic genius. But those who knew him personally mourned something even more: the loss of a beautiful soul. Sally's story reminded everyone that behind every great performance was a man with great compassion, and that's the message that stays with us today. Robin Williams may be gone, but his kindness continues to inspire. His ability to lift others up, to notice pain, to act with care, these are the things that truly defined him. And thanks to people like Sally Field, we get to know the whole story, not just the laughter, but the love behind it. In the end, Mrs. Doubtfire wasn't just a film about family and identity. It was also the place where two artists created something unforgettable, not just on screen, but in real life. Sally and Robin's connection taught us that real magic doesn't just come from performance. It comes from humanity. It comes from caring, listening, and being there when someone needs you. Robin's greatest role wasn't one he played for the camera. It was the role he played as a friend, a gentle soul behind the laughter. When people think of Robin Williams, the first thing that comes to mind is his unstoppable energy and endless humor. He was known for playing unforgettable characters who made people laugh, cry, and think deeply. But behind that humor was a gentle soul, and no one saw that side of him more clearly than actress Sally Field. While filming the beloved movie Mrs. Doubtfire, Sally got to know the real Robin, not just the funny man, but the kind-hearted human being who cared about everyone around him. She often spoke about how Robin wasn't just a co-star. He was a friend who showed up when it mattered most. On and off the set, he treated everyone with the same level of respect and kindness. It didn't matter if you were a leading actor or a crew member sweeping the floor. Robin made time to know your name, ask about your family, and check on how you were doing. Robin had a way of making people feel seen. He was never too busy to stop and talk, to share a joke, or to lift someone's spirits when they were having a hard day. Sally Field once shared that during a very emotional time, when her father passed away, Robin was one of the first people to notice her sadness. He didn't ask for attention or try to make a big show out of comforting her. He simply stood by her side, listened, and made her feel safe. That quiet support meant more to her than words could say. And it wasn't just Sally who felt that way. Everyone on the set of Mrs. Doubtfire had their own story about how Robin made them feel special. Whether it was by cracking a joke during a stressful shoot or giving someone a heartfelt compliment, he made people feel like they mattered. One makeup artist on the set remembered how Robin used to eat lunch with the crew rather than hiding in his trailer like most stars. He wanted to be part of the team, not above it. He would sit down, tell stories, laugh loudly, and ask about people's dreams. His warmth was real. Sally said that the love he gave wasn't just a public show. He was like that even when no one was watching. He helped create an environment where people felt happy to come to work, which is rare in the high-pressure world of film and television. Robin's kindness extended far beyond the set. He was a strong supporter of charity work and helped found Comic Relief USA, an organization that raised millions of dollars for the homeless. He also supported programs for veterans, people with disabilities, and those struggling with mental illness. But what made his actions stand out wasn't just the money he gave, it was the personal effort he put in. He showed up to events, he met people, he listened to their stories. Robin used his fame not to boost his own image, but to shine a light on others who were often forgotten. That's what made him so beloved. Sally Field's admiration for Robin didn't fade after Mrs. Doubtfire. Over the years, she continued to speak lovingly about his heart, his humor, and the quiet sadness she sometimes sensed in him. In one interview, she said, "He should be growing old like me." That sentence carried so much emotion. It showed her deep sorrow over losing a dear friend far too soon. It also revealed how close they had become, not just as actors, but as two people who had shared real moments of friendship and compassion. Their bond went beyond cameras and scripts. It was rooted in mutual respect, comfort, and shared life experiences. Many people didn't get to see the softer side of Robin Williams. They knew him for his lightning-fast jokes, his wild impressions, and his ability to light up a room. But behind all of that was a man who understood pain, who cared deeply, and who had a heart bigger than most could imagine. Sally was one of the lucky few who saw both sides. And it's through her memories that the world continues to learn about the loving, thoughtful man Robin truly was, Robin's silent battle, and the pain behind the smile, even though Robin Williams was the source of joy for millions. He carried a private pain that few ever saw. In the final years of his life, the light that once burned so brightly inside him began to dim. To most people, he still appeared full of energy, full of humor, and full of love. But those closest to him began to notice that something had changed. He seemed quieter, more withdrawn. There were moments when his famous smile didn't quite reach his eyes. And then came a moment that changed everything. Robin was told he had Parkinson's disease. For a man who relied on his body, his movement, his timing, this diagnosis felt like a dark cloud over everything he loved. The news hit him hard. Parkinson's is a disease that slowly takes away physical abilities. It causes shaking, stiffness, and difficulty moving. For someone like Robin, whose comedy depended so much on body language and quick reactions, it was heartbreaking. He began to fear what the future would hold. Would he still be able to perform? Would he lose the parts of himself that made people laugh? Would he become a shadow of who he used to be? These questions haunted him. And yet Robin kept most of his struggles to himself. He didn't want people to worry. He didn't want to be a burden. So he continued to smile. He continued to work. But inside, he was slowly breaking down as if the diagnosis weren't enough. Robin was also going through major changes in his personal life. He had recently gone through a painful divorce and was trying to rebuild happiness with his new wife, Susan Schneider. Starting over is never easy, especially when you're dealing with health problems, career setbacks, and emotional wounds. Robin was stuck between two chapters of his life, one he had just closed and one he wasn't sure how to begin. He was trying to move forward, but everything around him felt uncertain. And then came the heartbreaking truth. After Robin's death, doctors discovered he had been misdiagnosed. He didn't have Parkinson's. He had a rare and aggressive brain disorder called Lewy body dementia. This disease affects how the brain functions. It causes severe confusion, memory loss, hallucinations, and sudden mood swings. One moment, the person might seem completely fine. The next, they might forget where they are or become scared for no clear reason. Robin had been fighting this invisible monster without even knowing its name. His wife described it as a terrorist inside his brain. The disease attacked him from the inside, causing him to question his thoughts, his memories, even his own identity. He would forget lines, lose focus, and feel waves of fear that made no sense. But through it all, he rarely asked for help. He was still Robin, the man who gave laughter, not the one who asked for comfort. But he was suffering deeply. His world was slowly shrinking, and the man who once lit up every room began to dim. On August 11th, 2014, Robin Williams took his own life. The world was stunned. Fans everywhere felt as if they had lost a family member. People cried openly. Social media was flooded with tributes. Celebrities, world leaders, and regular people all shared how Robin had touched their lives. From making us laugh on rainy days to inspiring us with deep, moving performances, Robin had given the world so much. But behind all of that, he had been fighting a battle no one fully understood until it was too late. His death started a new kind of conversation, one about mental health, about invisible illness, and about the importance of checking in on even the happiest people. Sally Field, heartbroken, said she had always sensed a sadness in Robin, a depth that ran deeper than most people could see. And now, looking back, she saw just how heavy that sadness truly was, how the world remembers Robin and his timeless legacy. The loss of Robin Williams left a hole in the hearts of millions, but the world didn't let that sadness be the final word. In the weeks and months after his passing, people everywhere began to share their favorite memories of him, not just as a performer, but as a person. Tributes poured in from Hollywood stars, fans across the globe, and people whose lives had been touched by his kindness. They didn't just talk about how funny he was. They talked about how loving he was, how generous, how he made them feel. Safe, seen, and valued. One of the most touching stories came from his dear friend, actor Christopher Reeve. After Reeve's tragic accident that left him paralyzed, it was Robin who showed up to make him laugh again. Disguised as a fake doctor, Robin stormed into the hospital room with a ridiculous Russian accent and announced he was there for an emergency procedure. Christopher laughed for the first time since the accident. That laugh gave him hope. It reminded him that life, even in the darkest times, could still hold joy. That was Robin's gift-bringing light when people needed it most. At the 2014 Emmy Awards, Billy Crystal delivered an emotional tribute. He spoke about Robin's ability to make people laugh until they couldn't breathe and then touch their hearts in the next moment. He was the greatest friend you could ever imagine, Billy said. Whoopi Goldberg, another close friend, called it like losing a part of yourself. And even President Obama honored Robin, saying he was an airman, a doctor, a genie, a nanny, and everything in between. But more than that, he was a soul who touched every corner of the human spirit. Online, fans of all ages shared how Robin had helped them through hard times. For some, it was his voice as the genie in Aladdin. For others, it was his emotional role in Good Will Hunting or his inspiring performance in Dead Poets Society. These characters weren't just roles, they were pieces of him. His humor had depth, his performances had heart. And his legacy was more than just laughter. It was comfort, wisdom, and love. Sally Field continued to speak about Robin in interviews. She shared how their time on Mrs. Doubtfire was more than just acting, it was friendship, healing, and unforgettable memories. She said Robin wasn't just a man who made people laugh, he was someone who made others feel less alone. And that is a legacy that lives far beyond the screen. Even years later, people still celebrate Robin's life. His movies remain favorites across generations. Fan art, tribute videos, and quotes from his roles continue to spread love and inspiration. In a world that often feels dark, Robin's light still shines through. His message was simple but powerful. Be kind, be present, and use your gifts to lift others up. So what did Sally Field see on that set? She saw the real Robin, the man with a huge heart. The one who carried others even while struggling himself. The one who made people laugh so they wouldn't cry. The one who gave without asking. And though he's gone, the love people feel for him hasn't faded, it's only grown stronger. Robin Williams gave the world his everything. And through the memories, the laughter, and the love, he continues to give even now.